What are you doing? Ah, Mr. Rogue. I see you've fallen into my trap. What did you do? No, Mr. Rogue, I expect you to die. You... What? I want crimson in a body bag by sundown. Why are you quoting random spy movies? Once again, Mr. Rogue, we see there is nothing you can possess, which I cannot take away. Okay, that last one was Indiana Jones, not a spy movie. Neuralizer! Oh, God! Oh, it doesn't make you forget things, it just blinds you! God damn it!
Hello and welcome to The Book Was Better, where we're watching today's movies one book at a time. Why do kids' spy movies always suck? I'm serious. You name anything that can be called a spy movie for children, and they'll have the same problems. Terrible acting, shit writing, and villains so stupid that they make reality TV stars look educated by comparison. Agent Cody Banks, Harriet the Spy, baby geniuses, to a lesser extent. And the worst offenders, spy kids. The main problem in these series usually stems from talking down to their audience and treating them like idiots. I mean, true, you probably have to have a severe paint-sniffing addiction to enjoy Spy Kids, but just because those movies are for kids is no reason not to challenge them. All of these rules are true in today's movie, along with the added bonus of not understanding several fields of science. Ryder's Stormbreaker came out in 2006. Said to be a mix between Harry Potter and James Bond, the movie was anything but. It was about a teenager named Ryder who discovered his uncle, who had been murdered, was a spy for the British agency MI6. Alex then has to go undercover to finish his uncle's fatal mission and prevent a nationwide disaster. And if that sounds boring and generic, then good job! You've been paying attention! The movie did horribly, both critically and financially. It was blasted by critics and audiences alike, and barely made back half its production budget, earning only $23 million in theaters. In the United States alone, it didn't even break $1 million. It's that bad. Plans were in the works to turn the book series into a series of movies a la Harry Potter, but the catastrophic financial loss put an end to that before it began. The book was written by Anthony Horowitz, who also wrote the screenplay for the movie. Stormbreaker was published in 2001 and actually suffers from a lot of the same problems that the movie does. It's rushed, the main character has no personality, the pacing is a mess, and there's no believability. But that's not necessarily to say that Horowitz is a bad author. After all, he has a solid record as a writer on several British TV shows, and he wrote The Killing Joke. No, not that one. That was Alan Moore. This one! It's about a guy tracing the origin of something funny he heard once. So how do the problems of the book translate to the big screen? Well, let's find out as we scope out Ryder, Stormbreaker. Oh, come on, no real sound or graphics? They even fucked up the title screen! God damn it, this is gonna suck!
Okay, I'm being facetious. The real title comes later, but considering what we're getting into, the first title is more fitting. The movie opens to a scene that did not occur in the book, introducing our main character as he's giving a presentation about his family.
And we see that he's played by my old nemesis. No, my other nemesis. No, the other one. No, the other! Oh, gods, I have a lot of enemies. Alex Pettyfer returns to the show in another literary adaptation. This is, what, the third time I've featured him on my show? And one more to go. Anyway, Alex tells his class about his uncle, who he believes is just a banker, but is really a spy working for MI6.
My uncle, he's never going to set the world on fire because he's got a real boring job.
So I see we're dealing with a type of spies who only exist in children's imaginations. While Alex continues to describe a character who will be alive for only 5 more minutes, spoilers, we get several questionable and cliche moments during this overly dramatic chase sequence. For example, they go from the hills of Cornwall to some docks, and while at the docks, more bad guys show up in a boat, open fire on Alex's uncle, which includes using a rocket launcher. Shit like like this is what winds up on the front pages of international news sites. Subtle, these guys are not. And this chase is all done with extremely choppy cuts and terrible scene cohesion. One moment the uncle is alone, then he has 3 guys chasing him, then 4, then he's out in front. It's all over the place. He eventually gets away in a car, but is gunned down by an assassin in a helicopter who... Continue. We get some more scenes introducing 2 of our female characters, Sabina and Jack. And do you like watching cringe memes? Well, check this shit out!
Hey, Sabina.
Alex,
I was wondering, do you want to do something this weekend?
I can't. I have writing lessons and I'm going up with my parents.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe next weekend?
Whatever.
Oh dear, Leia. The acting in this movie is so stale, I fear it might give me typhoid. Yeah, that's not a great start to a movie. But if you want to see even cringier, check out Alex's housekeeper, Jack.
Jack.
Kako, Dodota?
The term weeaboo gets tossed around a lot these days. If this is the level of complexity we can expect from this movie, then we are off to a terrible start.
Arigato. Let's begin.
Now, I'm no linguist, but I happen to know that's not what you say when you start a meal in Japan. You're supposed to say, itadakimasu. I am not a weeaboo, I've just seen a lot of anime. The police arrive to deliver the bad news, and Alex is met by some strange fellows at the funeral. And not a single one of them is subtle. I don't understand why the movie has to be this blatant. What is it with movie executives talking down to kids? Hold it right there! Who the hell are you?
Why, I'm Michael Smitter of Snoot Pictures Incorporated in Hollywood, and you're completely wrong!
Why? Because I think we should treat children like people and not talking pets?
But we have to talk down to children! How else will the little idiots know what's going on?
That's absurd! Sesame Street manages to talk to kids without being condescending, and Harry Potter, though with a broader audience in mind, had several points so subtle that we're still coming up with fan theories to this day, like Dumbledore being representative of death. Why settle for weak writing when half the fun of being subtle is giving fans theories to talk about years later?
But good writers cost more and they don't always stand out! That's not profitable!
Harry Potter has pulled in over $7 billion from book sales alone.
But,
Leave. I go on the weirdest tangents. Anyway, back at the funeral.
I'm John Crawford from the Royal and General Bank. I just want you to know you have our condolences.
Alex also meets Mr. Blunt and Mrs. Jones, who worked with Alex's uncle and who totally aren't spies.
We're going to miss him. He talked a lot about you.
That's strange. Because he never mentioned you.
This coming from the kid who has thus far spent the entire movie complaining that his uncle was never around. This plot-convenient meeting will have to be ignored for now, since Alex's place was apparently being robbed.
Hey! That's Ian's stuff!
Harry!
What the heck are you doing?
I'm not sure how they could tell that, since we never see them stealing anything, but whatever. This leads us to another chase scene, which ends in a junkyard. By a remarkable coincidence, Alex comes across his uncle's car, complete with bullet holes. Quite strange, since Alex was told that his uncle died because he crashed his car without having a seatbelt on.
I'll go to Liverpool Street. Liverpool Street? What, the station? Yes, you Bert. Where else?
At the station, Alex sees one of the men from the funeral and decides to follow him. Oh my god. He did it! Calvin perfected the transmogrifier! No, it's really a secret entrance to some MI6 base, but no one thought this through. Secret entrances hidden in plain sight are nothing new, but most of those wouldn't be foiled by a single person forming a queue! If that wasn't enough, this was the last time we see Crawford in the movie. Good job introducing a character whose sole purpose can be equated to guide lights on the floor. Anyway, Alex finds himself in MI6's Spec Ops Division HQ.
Ian Ryder was one of our best agents.
Until you got him killed.
He got himself killed.
Okay, bitch. Thanks for clearing that up. Alex is told about his uncle's career as a spy and is given a chance to follow suit. However, being a rational person, and with that snide remark from Mrs. Jones no doubt still in his mind, Alex refuses.
We want you to work for us.
I don't want to be a spy. In case you haven't noticed, I'm still at school.
I'll take that as a no then. What a great shame. Your uncle would be very disappointed.
What?
Letting him down like that, but then I suppose young people.
I think what that spiteful old troll is trying to say is that he and his organization are dicks. Mr. Blunt keeps badgering Alex to join their ranks, but the teen still refuses. Until Alex is being shown the door.
How's that housekeeper of yours, by the way? What's her name? Jack Starbright. I suppose she'd have started packing by now.
Why? What do you mean?
Didn't she tell you? Her visa ran out 7 years ago. She'll be deported any day now. Actually, we might prosecute her first. Make an example.
What the fuck is wrong with you? This 14-year-old kid just buried his uncle, the only family he had left, and you're blackmailing him to take on a national security mission.
What are you? What kind of people are you?
Ones that normally get their way.
Are you the bad guy? With Jack's freedom threatened by the British government, Alex goes straight to work for the British government. I really wish I had skipped a step in there. Alex is sent into Special Forces training for 2 weeks, and it comes complete with a lovely introduction to his inclusive and loving teammates.
It must be with Special Operations. They're the only ones stupid enough to come up with something like this.
I said.
Oh!
They're like brothers.
We have no names here. We have no ranks. This is K Unit. Fox, Bear, Eagle, and Wolf. You'll be Cub.
It's not often that you see a script contradict itself within the same breath of air! The training is just a brief montage, ending in Alex's squad being quartered, with the chance of them being expelled from training due to routine failures on the courses. Naturally, Alex escapes and sabotages a trailer that their guards are relaxing in. Those soldiers are willing to fight and die for their country, and now they're probably crippled and will have to be dismissed. Ha 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 ha! I hate this kid. But in the spy world, causing casualties for your own side means you've finished training and they brief Alex on his assignment. You see, there's this new brand of computers called the Stormbreaker, and MI6 thinks that its CEO is up to no good, so they need Alex to sneak in and investigate.
Why me?
I'll show you. This is Kevin Blake. He's a computer nerd. 6 weeks ago, he won a competition in a computer magazine, Disk Drive World. Do you ever read it?
So the plan is to get Alex to switch places with this Kevin kid, who won a contest to tour the Stormbreaker facility and see what its CEO Darius Sale is up to. But as you can plainly see, they look nothing alike! Your cover story's face is plastered on the front page of what's at least a nationwide magazine. Even if you could change the magazine before it was released, what kind of a deal would you have to strike with the kid and his family to halt what is clearly a once-in-a-lifetime event? The kid is a computer nerd, so what's to stop him from going online and complaining like mad? A gag order? Well, that just reinforces the movie's unintended theme of the government being the bad guys. I'm no spy, but I'd say this cover story is flimsier than a drunk guy riding a unicycle.
Okay, my name's Aaron, and this is riding a unicycle downstairs.
So Alex is sent out to pick up a few gadgets for his mission. From a toy factory. Wait, do all of MI6's spies pick up their gadgets from here? Why have that out in the open when they have an entire facility hidden underground? But I will credit the movie in making one solid decision. Stephen Fry plays this movie's version of Q.
Keep my special toys down here, where children aren't allowed.
But your minimum wage co-workers are. Not exactly what I'd call secure intelligence work, but whatever. Alex begins his mission at Sale Enterprises and is driven into a compound that has more hired guns than computer programmers. And I know I haven't been talking about the book much of this review, but there are two distinct changes that I want to bring up. Darius Sale is played by Mickey Rourke, but in the book, his name was Herod Sale, and he came from Lebanon, or Egypt in the US version of the book. Enter your whitewashing comments below now. This was done only because Rourke was already being talked into the movie, so they changed the villain to an American. The other change, and this was a good one, was that 5 seconds after meeting Sale in the book, Alex forgot his cover story and gave his real name. It was a failed attempt at not confusing their young readers with the main character being called two names, but it made Alex look like a complete dumbass. Again, speaking down to your audience is not a good thing. We also meet Mr. Sale's helpers. Mr. Grin, played by Andy Serkis no less, and Nadia Vole, an angry German lady.
You wanna know how I got these scars?
No, too obvious. And frankly, angry German women have become such a stereotype that simply hiring one should be enough for the government to get a search warrant to comb through your factory. Though, given the movie's portrayal of MI6 so far, I don't think a warrantless search is out of the question. So the time has come for us to see this incredible Stormbreaker project. Darius even plans to donate several thousand models to multiple schools around the country, hence the government's interest in speeding up Alex's timetable. And I gotta ask, what the fuck is this? I know they'd want to heighten the importance of the machine, but making the interface require a user to stand, use only 10 buttons controlled by separate fingers instead of a standard keyboard and mouse, and scan the user's body for no apparent reason before you even select anything? How is this gonna fit into any school? Now, I'm no computer technician, but this whole setup is a fucking joke. After a while, Alex gets bored, much like myself, and wanders about the facility for a bit. We don't see too much, but we do see Darius mucking about with this new design for a tower. However, in an effort to pad out the movie and wake up the kids in the audience, the angry German lady finds out where Alex lives and visits to interrogate Jack. This leads to a very unimpressive fight between a villain who we can't possibly take seriously and a woman who's too weak of a character to care about. Couple that with the TV mimicking how these two are fighting, and the obvious conclusion with this pufferfish rolling around, and we're left with an unnecessary 2-minute fight and another reason to dislike the whole movie. This whole scene just serves as a good place for a bathroom break. Back with Alex using one of his gadgets, he learns that the German lady found out who he really was and reveals it to Darius.
I want you to go to his room. I want you to wake him up. Gently. Then I want you to kill him.
Why? Look, killing him I understand, but why wake him up first? To see the fear in his eyes? To have him beg for mercy? To give him a fighting chance? These are the kinds of mistakes that crap villains make that are so easily avoided. Just kill him while he's asleep and get it over with. It's what the ring wraiths try to do. It's called the Evil Overlord list, people. Read it. Alex sneaks out late at night and discovers a hidden facility modifying the computers that are being sent out, which, incidentally, look nothing like the machine Alex tested. For now, let's ignore that they won't be in place for the evil plan to work and just move on. Before Alex can escape, though, he gets captured.
Who are you?
I'm Kevin Blake. I was invited here.
It's a good act. You do it very well.
No. No, he does not. Apparently, this assembly line is injecting a deadly virus of some sort into each computer, presumably to be released later on. And I can safely say that these are viruses and not some chemical warfare compound because of this scene later on.
It's not a computer virus. It's the real thing.
Dumbass! The vials were filled with liquid! You held one in your hands! How many liquid computer viruses have you ever heard of? Alex escapes for half a minute when he gets captured again, then tormented for information. I would say tortured, but this is a kid's movie, so Alex never actually gets hurt.
Good shot.
Actually, it was a near miss.
Okay, pet peeve activated.
It's a near hit. A collision is a near miss. Look, they nearly missed.
We also get to see what Darius's motivation for doing all of this is.
Why are you doing this?
Do you know what it's like to be a foreigner in this country? You know, for me, son, that was slow death. It wasn't pretty. I was mocked. I was derided from the day I arrived here, especially at school.
So basically, he was bullied by his classmates as a kid and names the current prime minister as an antagonist.
You self-righteous fuck not! You got picked on in school. So what? You don't go and murder tens of thousands of children 40 years later just because a few classmates were assholes to you. You get revenge when you're a kid, like putting mouse shit in someone's sandwich. Isn't that right, Mark Stevens from 4th grade? So rather than do something sensible to kill Alex, like put a bullet in his brain, the angry German woman dumps him into a large aquarium with a man-of-war jellyfish. And he escapes by spreading some cream that can eat through metal on the frame of the tank. You know he works for a spy agency, so you should know that he probably has some gadgets or tools on him. The book explained this by having Alex get tricked into falling through a trap door and then into the aquarium. True, this was after he had already been tied up, so the same problem still exists, but whatever. So, Alex escapes again, the angry German lady is either killed by the jellyfish or is having an orgasm under it, and Alex outrides a group of guards with worse aim than the most inept stormtroopers. He harpoons his way into a helicopter that has a hatch underneath it. Is that standard? And after pacifying Mr. Grin with a sodium penthol dart, he's on his way to London.
In just a few minutes, the Prime Minister will press the button which will activate the Stormbreaker computers in schools nationwide. Darius Sale has insisted that the Prime Minister be the one to press the button. In fact, he's made it button fingerprint sensitive, so nobody else can take his place.
What? That might be the most screamingly idiotic part of the whole plan! The scheme can only work if the Prime Minister himself pushes the button? So, if literally anything goes wrong, the years, if not decades of planning will go to waste. Why would you ever take this extra step when it only ties your hands? I get trying to make it personal, getting the asshole who bullied you into personally kill all those kids, but he's already set up to push the button himself. You are a shit villain! Ugh. Ugh.
Wait, Crimson, stop! That's my cooking brandy. You're not supposed to drink it!
You're not watching this piece of shit! You don't get to tell me what to do!
It tasted god-awful. So the ceremony starts with the PM giving a nice obnoxious gaffe.
Which is why I am delighted to accept the most generous offer from one of our foremost entrepreneurs and indeed an old school colleague of mine, Darius Sale.
In today's political climate, that line would follow him to his grave. Meanwhile, Alex jumps out of the helicopter and parachutes in, while Darius gives the most ominous speech imaginable.
And I'm going to tell you, the Prime Minister is the one who must take credit for what's about to happen here.
And then, just to stall for time since Alex hasn't arrived, there's a 20-second countdown.
20 seconds to Stormbreaker launch.
I can only imagine everyone standing around awkwardly until the arbitrary moment to hit the button. Will you just hit the fucking button already? Alex finally bursts in through a skylight, only to have rows and rows of military personnel show up, one of whom happens to be Wolf from the earlier training scene, who just hands Alex a rifle. Alex then shoots the podium in a scene that looks remarkably like an assassination attempt on the Prime Minister's life. In the confusion, Darius gets away and Alex is left feeling unfulfilled. After all, he didn't complete his mission and didn't capture the man who killed his uncle. But that changes when Alex spots a tower that looks remarkably like the model Darius was examining earlier. How Alex saw any semblance to the model, I'm not sure. Oh, and do you remember that horrible actress from the intro as well?
Sabina?
Alex?
Sabina!
Alex?
And now Alex gets to ride in a battle on a pony.
My little pony, my little pony.
This leads us to the real climax, which is not only dragged out, but downright annoying. Darius somehow narrowly beat Alex to the top of the tower and is about to activate the Stormbreaker network when the power goes out. Alex has pulled the power line, but when Darius goes to confront him...
Put it down, boy.
Notice the gun in his hand. Also notice that he isn't using it! Alex just continues to pull out more and more of the cable until he's pushed over the ledge. Well, the architect is gonna get his ass sued. Also, Sabina followed them both up there. It looks like Alex is finally about to get himself killed when Yasin Grigorovich, the assassin that killed Alex's uncle, flies in via helicopter. He then betrays Darius in the most contrived manner available. And, with the writers out of ways to get Alex out of this mess, Grigorovich saves the teenager and leaves him on a rooftop, where he explains that he had no reason to save the boy.
Sailheads become an embarrassment to the people I work for.
What about me?
I had no instructions concerning you.
With that, Alex goes back to school to wait an eternity for a sequel that would never come. The end. Garbage. The movie is a complete disaster. Almost nothing works anywhere. The best thing I can say for it is that the special effects did their job, but surrounded by ineptitude at every other turn, the movie as a whole had no chance. The acting sucked. The writing sucked. The hero was a bore, and the villain was such a moron that he should be a case study somewhere. It was obvious that no one, and I mean no one, in this movie was giving their best effort. They know that this movie is going to bomb, and they don't even try to hide it. Whether or not the movie was for kids doesn't matter. I can't see anyone liking this. The movie gets a 1 out of 5. Frankly, the book wasn't much better. The book suffered from many of the same issues that the movie did. Most of the book's issues come down to a blank slate main character who doesn't have much to say. This may have been done so that the younger audience the book was meant for could put themselves in Alex Ryder's shoes. If that's true, then bravo to Anthony Horowitz for trying. I would then take that adulation away for the complete and utter lack of believability the book spits out. The multiple issues in science and logic I pointed out during the review also exist in the book, and I kept rolling my eyes at how little thought had been put into the pages. This is a lesson that I want all the writers in my audience to understand. You have to have a broad understanding of multiple topics in order to make a story believable, understandable, and open to all but the most fussy readers. Your writing will become all the sharper for it. I don't know how well Horowitz understands this in his other works, but it didn't materialize here. The book gets a 2 out of 5. My taste for the book may have been tainted by how bad the movie was, but the fact that the book didn't have any sway over me just tells me that the movie was a poisoned fruit from a poisoned tree. Now, I'm all for escapist fantasy, but you could at least try to maintain at least a modicum of realism. This just leads us to that odd moment where the book sucks and the movie sucks, but that somehow leads us to a fitting adaptation, a condition I will now dub Twilight Syllogism. The book is properly represented in the movie, with only a few changes made here and there. For example, the book didn't include Sabina at all and didn't have the, quote, dramatic climax on top of the tower. By and large, it was faithful to the source material, though a few more significant changes would not have been uncalled for. Sadly, the movie does not attempt to fix the shortcomings of the book, largely thanks to Horowitz writing the script as well. As an adaptation, Alex Ryder gets a 3 out of 5. I genuinely hate this entire subgenre. If there's an exception to kids' spy movies sucking, then I haven't heard of it. I'll stick with some good old-fashioned real spies, thank you very much.
To come, your eyes start shining as the sun begins to fall. Someone's by your side.
Hey, that smells pretty good. Thanks. What you making? Steaks marinated in garlic and the brandy you didn't manage to drink. Served with a sauce made from beef stock, oyster sauce, and Worcester sauce. Here. Try some. That's really good. I'm no restaurant critic, but that's a nice gravy. Okay, you've been making that joke all day. And a couple of months ago, some guy from your office called and had me kill some zombies in your place. Seriously, what do you do for a living? Please.